Hi there, this is Vane, women's personal trainer, and with another episode of Rumbles and Reps, this sort of podcast where I just talk to myself and in turn to you who are hopefully listening and can also leave me your comments and ideas on the topics I'll be trying to present. Today, I just wanted to share briefly an opinion and also evidence-based opinion on returning to working out, or returning to your routine after a long break. As you may know, as I've been sort of fighting and trying to get better in my health with all my SIBO and food intolerances, newly discovered food intolerances of this year, trying to understand better what's going on in my body, and in consequence also trying to learn what I can do to make it better and what I need to do to actually feel better, feel good, and recover my energy and sort of go back to being myself. So for the past month and a half, I've been under an antibiotics treatment, first with very powerful pharmacological antibiotics, and now thankfully with herbal antibiotics, which I still have to take for 1 more month. And then I have to do some tests and see how this is going. But the thing is that since January of this year until about mid-April, I had been feeling not really well. When I started the antibiotics, things started to change. But the first 10 days with the pharmacological antibiotics, they were really, like, honestly, extremely hard. That I knew that were going to do something good for me in the end, but the feelings I had when taking them were awful. Like, I felt sicker than before while taking the antibiotics, and now thankfully with the herbal antibiotics, that's gone and I'm feeling much better. But all this month and a half that I've been doing the treatment, I can say that every week I get at least 1% better than the week before. And when I first started to feel my symptoms and to not feel really good, and I honestly felt sick every day. I was sick. I was like stomach sick, but I was also like in pain, and I was very, very tired all the time. I didn't want to do anything. I could barely do my job, and I just sort of every day woke up and gathered the energy that I needed to do my job. And that was about it. I didn't have energy for anything else than doing my job and maybe doing cooking a meal, or something simple other than the work, which was challenging and demanding enough for my body and for my brain. But it was very hard for me to actually do something for myself, in the form of movement, in the form of training. And I'm a person that always needs to move. I was used to moving every day some way or another, maybe not doing like very hard training every day, but at least some form of movement on a daily basis. That was like my routine. And for 3 months or so, I couldn't do that. I kind of pushed myself to do some training once a week, pole training. Uh, and I have a very good teacher that she understood exactly what I was going through, and she was able to adapt my classes. So some weeks I was doing really interesting stuff. Other weeks I was more like, let me have this moment for myself so I can actually do something for my body, but don't force me to do something too hard. And we were doing like simple stuff just for me to move around and see if I still had the strength to do some stuff, some things. Um, and then that was pretty much it. I was doing some flexibility classes. At first, I was keeping up my 3 times a week of flexibility, but then with time, I was only doing 1 or 2 in a week. So I was kind of doing less and less in terms of movement and things that I knew I needed for my own well-being. But I just honestly couldn't gather any more energy. First, because I was eating very little, because I didn't know what to eat, and everything was hurting me, or it seemed to be hurting me. And so I didn't know what to eat. I had no clue what to do. I was hungry all the time, but I was eating very little. And I lost about 5 kilos in just a month, which is quite a lot, especially for my body and for what I'm used to. I didn't mean to. It just happened because I didn't know what to eat and I was eating so little. So, what changed? Right now, I'm feeling better. I'm eating better, and I started going to the gym again. So, what changed in this time since my problems, sort of health problems, started? Well, one thing that changed is that I finally started this treatment with the antibiotics, and like I said, it's been a month and a half, and it's going well. I have to continue it, and I'm hoping it will actually solve my biggest issue, which is the SIBO, which is then affecting everything else. Um, Killing this harmful bacteria in my gut has brought up some really good stuff. Like, again, energy wise, I'm feeling a lot better. And I am able to consume bigger amounts of food without pain, even though there's not much more variety than I had, but at least I can eat more. And the other thing that changed is that I went to my nutritionist in March, and she helped me design a plan with the things I can eat, which is very kind of restricted or very restricted. But with the things I can eat, okay, how much of everything do I need? How much protein do I need? How much fat do I need? How many carbs do I need? How much of every macronutrient, in a way, to keep my body functioning and to keep my body energy to work, because I work with my body, and to also survive, or actually not survive, but live my life in a nice way with energy, so I can train, so I can do the things in the house, so I can do stuff with my partner, with my husband, with my friends, go out, I don't know, enjoy my days a little bit more. So I am currently, again, with the treatment in sense of the pills, and I'm also eating more, knowing what I can eat much better at this point. I'm much more aware of what I can eat and what I cannot eat, and adding more quantity of food because I was eating very little before. That contributed to me not being hungry all the time, and being able to convert this food into good energy to do things, to do good things. So a combination of these two things. And I also started taking some magnesium tablets. There's a particular type of magnesium, because I don't even know the name in English, to be honest. It's bisiglinato in Spanish, and I'm gonna say it like that because that's the way I know it. But this type of magnesium has always helped me, and I had stopped it for a very long time. But then I was very tired again, and my doctor said to include the magnesium, and she was right. So magnesium tablets, 2 tablets every day, every night. So I sleep better, and I actually rest when I sleep. So next day I have more energy. So the antibiotics for the SIBO, the magnesium for recovery in a way, and the food. Fueling properly, I cannot emphasize this enough. Fueling properly, it's extremely important for us to have energy to do the shit we need to do, what we want to do. So finally, last week, I said, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try to lift again. And you may say, Vane, you have your weights at home and you always promote working out from home and whatnot. Why are you going to the gym? The reality is I've been stuck to my house for so long, especially during these past 4 months. One, because I work from home, so I'm home all day with work. Two, because I couldn't go out to do anything with anyone. First, because I had no energy. Second, because I cannot eat anything. So, if you live in Spain, you'll know this. Like, most of the plans revolve around food and drinks. And also, as an Argentinian, most things revolve around food when we meet friends. And unfortunately, I cannot eat anything. I cannot just go to any restaurant. I have to go to like one or two restaurants where there's a steak and potatoes. And maybe I can go to one cafe, which is my friend's cafe, because I can take my food there. But to most places, you cannot take your food. There are lots of rules and regulations in place, and it's understandable. So I was spending most of my time at home, and I maybe would go out a little bit for a walk if I had some energy left through the week. So now, so when I had more energy after a month of treatment and eating better and the magnesium and whatnot, I said, okay, I'm finally ready to start lifting heavy again. I know my body can do this now, but I need to go to the gym because I need to get myself out of the house. So that's it. That's why I decided to go back to the gym. It's a different environment. It gives me a different sort of, I don't want to say motivation because I'm not sure that's the word, but it's just inspiring to go and see other people, and it is just nice to get out of the house at least for 1 or 2 hours a day, twice a week. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing twice a week for now, and it's going well, and I'm very, very careful. I probably can lift heavier than I am lifting at the moment, but I promised myself I was going to take care of this body, and I was going to take it easy, because then if I go all in at once or all out at once and at the very beginning, I'm going to get exhausted again. I'm going to get extremely sore. I'm not going to like it, and I'm going to quit. I know myself very well to know that this is what's going to happen. So I am taking it slowly, which is what I usually advise people. Like, if you're coming back from a long break, or if this is your first time training, take it easy. There is a lot of time to go harder. But at the very beginning, take it easy. Start trying it out. See how much you can lift, how you feel with the weights, where your optimal level of effort is for your situation at this very, very moment. How do you recover after a session? Is it taking you a week to recover? Is it taking you 2 or 3 days? Is it taking you one day? All of those measurements, in a way, all of those parameters you can use to then adjust your training. So let's say you try something and it takes you a week to recover. You definitely went too hard. You want to be able to train hard 2 or 3 times a week at least. So you need to be able to recover in 1 to 3 days, tops. If it's taking you a week, you're just going too hard. And then you're going to quit because it's just too hard and everything hurts all the time. So take a step down, leave the ego aside, lift to an optimal level of effort, to a level of effort where, like, yes, I'm close to failure. This is challenging, but I can recover in 1 to 3 days and go back and lift again. We have to be ideally, we have to learn to be very aware of our bodies and how we respond to the training and how much time we need to recover from a training session. And then that will allow us to adjust and see if we need to do less or more of the training. If you're doing a session and next day you could do another one, probably you can go harder, right? So we have to find our own points of challenge in our own points of recovery and then go from there. For me at this moment, going twice a week to the gym is like blessed. I can finally do this. I can finally challenge my body again properly without dying, without feeling super tired. So I am very happy and very proud to be doing this again. And I just wanted to share this with you as well. It is really a good moment again in my life. And I do have ups and downs, but most of my days are now good, which is the complete opposite to what they were a month ago, when most of my days were shit. Now most of my days are good. I may have maybe a once a week where I react to something, like something's off and I don't feel great. But most of the times I feel really good. And I feel like I have the energy to do my training, and also I have the energy to go out. Like, I've been going out for little day trips around Madrid, around or near Madrid with my husband. We've been able to spend the day out. I take my own food, but we've been able to spend the day out doing a little picnic, being in the sun and walking in nature, things that I was not able to do a month and a half ago. So, very happy with the progress, and I wanted to share this again with you. But the most important for me, the takeaway here is, if you are having to take a break, it's okay. Take the break, take your time. You're not going to lose all the things you know. You're not going to lose all the progress you've made. Your body's smart. It will remember what you can do. Your muscles will not completely die off if you have been training before. They will recover if you allow them to recover. So if you're in this point, be patient with yourself, be nice to yourself, and remember that you can always go back to where you were or to where you need to be. And if you're just resuming this training because you had an injury or because you were sick or because you took a holiday or whatever happened in your life, again, be nice, be gentle, be kind to yourself, and go to a good level of effort that is nice for you, that feels good for you, that you know is going to work for you, but also allow yourself time to recover so that you can keep this in the long term consistently, which is what is actually going to bring you the results you're looking for. So thanks again for hearing my rumbles as usual. I appreciate you being on the other side. And if you're going through any situation like this, and if you want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment. You can also reach out to me by emailing me at info@growstrongher.com, or just messaging me on my socials, on my Instagram, or on my Facebook accounts.